This is why it's not easy for gunshot victims to pick up a gun and why gun enthusiasts should enforce it on trauma victims. So, for those who are new to my channel, I'm a T11 paraplegic. I was set up and shot in a home invasion December 19th of 2019. I created this YouTube channel to share my story as a gunshot survivor and to help those who are paralyzed. By the end of this video, you'll get a glimpse of what it's like to be a gunshot survivor and why you shouldn't push your gun beliefs on victims and how it's not easy to just get over PTSD. But real quick, 85% of you guys watching aren't subscribed yet. And by subscribing, you join the T11 paraplegic family. And YouTube also will know that you guys love the content. It pushes out my videos to help more people, help spread my story, and support others who need these tips and inspiration. So here is my story. I'm monitoring you guys' comments on my phone. So here's my story. So what happened to me was there was a friend of mine. He was having an argument at his place. This girl he was dating, uh, she was nothing but trouble. Her brother got out of jail. He started staying with us, and it was just nothing but drama. And he's a disabled Marine vet. And I thought of my father because he's an Army vet who was in the military for 17 years. So I wouldn't allow anybody to disrespect my father. And so I thought of my friend as my father figure. So, anyways, there was just a lot of argument, threats towards him from the brother, and it went on for weeks. I ended up just telling them to get the f out, and long story short, they didn't like it. They came and beat and shot me. But how they came back was I heard a knock on the bedroom door when I was explaining my friend what was going on. I was saying they were talking bad about you, this and that, which I have all the text messages between me and my friend at that time. But anyways, so I when I was talking to him in the room with the door closed, I was telling him what was happening when he left. It's not right that he has to leave the house whenever there's an argument, and they're there laying on our couch eating up our food. It's very inconsiderate. But anyways, so I heard a knock on the bedroom door, and when I opened it, I seen a rifle aiming at me, and that really scared me. I slammed the door, and I ran in the closet. I don't know why I did, but I ran in the closet, and I remember I found like a stick or something like that, and I tried hitting them with the stick, but they ended up taking it, and it was just a lot of adrenaline rush. So I ran out the closet and try to push them out the way, but they end up like hitting me on both sides. The brother was hitting me with his pistol, and the guy they brought back with them, he had the rifle, and they're hitting me, and I have scars on my head. Um, so I have scars on my hands too when I was protecting myself. But anyways, so they couldn't take me down. So they had thrown me on the bed and was and I remember looking at him, the guy with the rifle. I remember looking at him when he threw him on the bed, and that's when he started gouging my eyes, and I started like moving my head away, trying to get his hands away from me, and somehow I was able to get up off the bed, and I tried to run, and I started hearing gunshots. It was probably two or three, I'm not sure, but I ran out the room and I heard a gunshots, and I ended up falling in the living room, almost close to the door, and I tried to get out. Like I didn't know what paralyzed was. I was confused why I couldn't just get up and run. So it was very confusing at that time, and yeah, when I became paralyzed, it just felt like my legs were floating up. If that makes sense. If that happened to you, just leave in the comments below your experience when you first became paralyzed. But yeah, but anyways, so they end up like holding their guns towards me, like at my head when I was there on the ground, yelling and crying, like, "Don't shoot me, I have a daughter." I have my hand out, "Don't shoot me, I have a daughter." I was repeating that, and yeah, they were kicking me on the ground, and they ended up leaving, and I ended up like dying, but in the ambulance. I remember reaching out to my friend. I'm like, "Why didn't you help me?" And my friend was saying, "I got hit too," and I was like, "I did too," but unlike him, I have scars. So, but anyways, I reached out to him and he tried picking me up, but I couldn't get up. And I remember him saying, like, oh shit. And I remember him calling 911. And I don't know if I was in and out, like passing or not, but it's like they were there, like right then and there, like the ambulance. So I don't know if I went like pass out for a bit. But yeah, so I was just like, everything's just fading, and I just remember them carrying my body out the house and into the ambulance. They were asking me questions. Was it a drug deal? I was like, no. I was just defending a friend who I thought was my friend. So hold on. Uh, so yeah. Uh, so I just remember them like stripping my clothes off and trying to find where I was shot at. I was shot in the back, and they're asking me questions, and I kept repeating that I told them, "Don't shoot me. I have a daughter," and that was like the last thing I guess I said. That's what they told my parents, and I ended up dying in the ambulance, or I went under or whatever. But yeah, it was just crazy, like just dying, like just seeing things black and white and things fading away, and I was just at peace. So but anyways, so that's pretty much my story for that. So you guys understand where I'm coming from, why I personally fear guns. So, anyways, I'll be going over some comments that I came across within like 4.5 years of being paralyzed. Some of these comments weren't rude; they're actually great questions. I'm making this video since it doesn't seem that people understand what's it like to be a gunshot victim and why people like me are afraid of guns. Um, but before I start, I'd like to mention that I'm not against, I'm not for nor against guns. In the right hands, it's a great tool to use for self defense. So don't be like those gun enthusiasts who will attack me in the comments just because I don't want to mess with the gun. It's a choice. It's just funny how you know some hardcore gun enthusiasts will get mad at others for not wanting to mess with the gun. It's just But anyways, so I've been told many times, like this was like a couple years ago, to just get a strap, and telling a gunshot victim that it's kind of messed up, but at the same time, they don't understand why people like me are afraid of guns until it happens to them. So just telling somebody to just get a strap, uh, you know, that was kind of hurtful to me personally, you know. So because it's not easy, to just pick up a gun after what happened. But everybody's PTSD is different. So I've been told that. Well, I hear this a lot, and I'm sure you guys hear this as well. Guns don't kill people; people kill people. But in reality, guns do kill people. It gives someone the power to do so. A gun is a tool that someone uses to kill someone. If I left a gun or a knife on a table, of course, it's not going to just go and walk off and shoot and stab somebody. So it takes a person to use it. So yeah, I don't like that comment. Um, but of course, guns can go off. Like a lot of people, they'll be showing off their guns, like at a party or whatever, or live stream. They'll be messing with their guns, live streaming, and it'll go off. And those type of people is why there are gun rules because they're dumb. Not as funny. And it just reminds me of like this is why there's labels on things. But anyways, um, so for me personally, I don't think that people who are jumpy, such as myself, should have guns. I don't want to accidentally kill someone, or I might just shoot random things out of fear of thinking it's a person, like at nighttime. So I do understand that guns can help put me to ease, but those who deal with depression and mental problems shouldn't have guns, just like bank robbers, road rage people, gang members. Those type of people are mentally weak who can't control their emotions. So, people wonder why they're trying to take our guns. But anyways, but criminals are going to get guns regardless. So, but someone who deals with depression and stuff like that, and who are jumpy, I don't think they should have guns. You know, um, some gun enthusiasts like to throw in Second Amendment, this and that, but it doesn't mean that you could do what you want with guns and act like a fool. We have rules for a reason, and people back then had muskets, which took like 5 minutes to load. But anyways, so if they knew what people would be doing with the guns, with these crimes, they probably wouldn't have signed it. But much respect to those who actually use guns properly for self-defense. But anyways, a pair of buddy of mine on Facebook, he recommends shooting a gun, but I have no core stability, so if I was, I need to use a weak gun so it doesn't like throw me back because I had no core stability to hold me up. So, and I might accidentally shoot my face, and that'll be the end of my videos. That's funny. But yeah, but he mentioned he also doesn't have core stability, and he leans back in his wheelchair to help. And that's what I do in the car. So yeah, when my dad hits on the brake, I go flying forward. But anyways, but the thing is, that's a great advice. But I don't know how I would react when I hear the guns go off. I just try to avoid telling my story and things related to guns because it makes me relive it, and I'm just trying to avoid anything that will trigger me. People just gotta respect that if a trauma victim don't want to do something, they don't want to. They got to understand and you know not push it too much. So here's his comment. Like I said, these are all great comments. There's no hate towards them. I appreciate people interacting with me on social media, so God bless them. So this young lady, she was saying, I also got shot, but I have never had PTSD from it, thank God. It got to be hard. I guess guns make me nervous, but this time in the world, it's the people for sure, not the guns. Well, of course, it's not the guns. It's not going to just walk off and shoot somebody. It's a weapon commonly used to end somebody's life. But luckily, she didn't, deal with a lot of PTSD like that. Like I said, there's different levels to it, to PTSD. Um, this other one from her and me personally, I don't carry a gun on me in public, but I do have one at home for protection. Being a single mother, disabled, I have other lives to protect, and with the world, hold on, I'm sorry. And with the world today, you never know what might end up at your doorstep. I think it's better to have it and not need it. Having kids, it's definitely a must to have a gun, especially a disabled mother. So much respect to you. So she since she has kids, she has to get over her fear for that. Just like, for example, I fear the ocean, especially dark oceans. But if my pug was drowning in the ocean, I'm getting my cripple ass in the ocean and save my dog, regardless of my phobia of the ocean. So she had to get over her phobia. So much respect for her. And her mentioning not knowing what's at your doorstep. That's why I have my dad. And he has cameras, and he could see who's at the door. And if I feel scared, I always message my dad or call him. I'm like, hey, someone's at the door. Can you check? So yeah. But anyways, but if someone wants to break in, if I die, I die. Um, my life is in God's hands. So I already died before. So, but dealing with nerve pains and PTSD, anxiety, depression, and just being paralyzed sucks. So it'll just be doing me a favor. I went dark quick. But anyways, this young gentleman said, "Dang, bro, I got PTSD just from my accident. I couldn't imagine this. Do you have a weapon yourself that would help ease your mind?" Yeah, my dad's my weapon, and my pug. Oh, so I like to thank all of them for their comments. They're all great comments. But anyways, so here's the reality of PTSD, and it varies from person to person. Um, so for me personally, how it affected me is when I first watched a shooting movie when I came back after my injury. I was watching a shooting movie. I was there eating pizza with my family, having movie night. And we were watching Gran Torino, and everything was going good until I seen the old man beat up this Asian dude on the ground and was holding a gun to him at the head. And that triggered me because that's what I experienced, you know. So I was reliving it and I was getting flashbacks, and you know, and I was just scared. I was shaking and I was there holding my pizza, and I was just frozen. I couldn't move. And my stepmom was like saying, Joey, Joey, like, you know, to my dad. And he had to change the channel because I was just frozen. I couldn't move. So I learned that certain movies triggers me. So, you know, um, so yeah, like I'll try watching shooting movies, but it's just hard, you know. It just gives me a lot of flashbacks. But anyways, so this one time I was setting up for a live video with my dad to react to a YouTuber who got shot at the mall. But anyways, while I was getting ready, there was a movie playing where a gang member had a gun to this guy's head while he was on the ground yelling about having a daughter, and that scene triggered me and gave me flashbacks since that's actually what happened to me. I was there yelling like, "Don't shoot me, I have a daughter." So seeing that when I was setting up, it really triggered me. So I avoid it, you know. And I used to listen to secular music, which is music on the radio, but I avoid it for a lot of reasons, besides being a Christian. But anyway, so I was on Pandora and I was listening to Eminem, you know, one shot, two shot, you know, I hear gunshots or something like that. But you should check it out, Eminem, and just look up one shot, two shot. But anyways, so when I first heard it on Pandora, I was frozen and I was just starting to play back the day that I was shot because of the things he was saying in the lyrics I could relate to, and hearing the gunshots in the music video. It just triggered my PTSD and I just started crying. Like I couldn't move. I started crying. So I just learned to avoid musics and things like that, you know, and watching movies, you know, that would trigger me. So I just try to avoid things, you know, and I try going out. And this is the reason why I fear going out. I learned that it's actually a phobia. It's called agoraphobia, which I made a short video about recently, where it's someone whose fear of leaving the home is just a severe anxiety disorder. So, anyways, so I try getting out of my comfort zone. I try going outside, but it just these things just give me the reason not to leave the house. So I heard a balloon pop. Hold on, let me backtrack. So I went to my brother's birthday party. He's 13 years old. But anyways, it was a few years ago, and we're eating whatever and outside, and the balloons I was on the walls and popping, and it triggered me, you know. Just anything unexpected happens, like fast movement noise, it just triggers me. But anyways, I heard the pops and it kept popping like 2 3 times, you know. It's like the devil trying to, you know, attack me and just get to me. But anyways, so my stepmom had to take down the balloons because it just kept triggering me. Like I just keep getting scared. You know, I keep freezing up. So that's why I avoid going outside. But anyways, just and people popping out of nowhere freaks me out. You know, or behind me, like when I'm at stores, I need to know my surroundings. You know, my dog, like when I'm home alone and the dogs be sneaking through the small doggy door when I'm home alone, it freaks me out. So uh, I understand that having a gun can help put me to ease, but you know, if it's my time to go, it's my time. You know, just gotta set my fate. but but anyways, so but yeah, sudden movements, sounds, it freaks me out. You know, my if my dog is sleeping and you know, and she hears something like loud and she wakes up quickly, it freaks me out. So my dog sometimes make me paranoid, but there's more pros than cons having a dog with PTSD. But anyways, so when I was on my phone this time, like one time, like a few days ago, there was an Amber Alert, and I wasn't expecting it, and the Amber Alert went off, and it freaking scared me. Like, you know, like I feel like I was gonna have a heart attack. So, yeah, so it's just I just deal with severe like anxiety and agoraphobia, so things like that. So, you know, and this one time I was sleeping in the van when I was heading to my appointment, and um, the music changed. It suddenly changed, you know, when I was sleeping, and I woke up and started screaming, you know, and he was asking, the van driver was asking my dad if I was all right. And he was like, yeah, it's just the music, it threw him off, you know, when it suddenly changed. This other time, I was at the hospital, the oxygen tank fell, and it freaked me out. I froze up, you know, and what I do is when I get scared, if I'm able to, is I'll go underneath my blanket. I just feel safe under there. And the nurse was asking if I was all right, and my dad was like, "Yeah, it's just the when the oxygen tank fell, it just freaked him out." So that's why my dad stays with me now at the hospital. And there's one time, uh, at the same time when the oxygen tank fell. But anyway, so I was at the hospital. I was there alone, and an inmate acting up. There was inmates at the hospital, so he was acting up, throwing things, and just triggered me. I started getting scared, and I'm there getting paranoid, thinking he's going to attack me, and you know, and I remember calling like the nurse with the button. I was like telling them like the inmates are acting up, and they just ignored me. I guess they probably thought I was just a patient, just complaining room. I just had surgery too, so I'm very vulnerable. But anyway, so I was just freaked out, and and so yeah, I was just there frozen, just with the TV off and just staring at the wall. When the nurse came in, and because my stepmom told them my backstory, so they came in, asked if I was all right, if they needed to change rooms. So, but yeah, I was just in the dark, just staring at the wall. So that's why I'm scared to leave the house, since I can't control my environment. I get paranoid when fireworks go off, so I have to wear headphones. But before, it's like when I first heard fireworks, after my injury the first year, I was there screaming, like crying, screaming, like it just got to me at that time. But now, it doesn't bother me as much. So, but it used to get to me. But anyways, I have younger siblings, and they'll kick the ball against the wall, out of nowhere, and it'll freak me out since it's unexpected, you know. And let me check my messages real quick. But yeah, but anyways, um, yeah, but even though I'm open to trying things like shooting range, my mind and body may not react well because of PTSD. I already get triggered by shooting movies. My brother's shooting at me with their Nerf guns, because this one time they barged in my room like years ago, and with their Nerf guns started shooting at me, and it scared me. So my dad told them, shoot, shoot. So, so yeah. So anyway, so I get scared of little things, shooting songs, fireworks. It all triggers me. So if I was to go to a shooting range and hear a gun go off, I have no clue how I'm going to react. I already react badly with those things. So like I'll be doing the dishes, and if I don't hear you coming and you pop out of nowhere, I'll get startled. Like I'm just very jumpy. So that's why I don't think I shot a gun. For me personally, people barging in my room, same at the hospital, it scares me. So my dad has to let the staff know my background, to put up a sign to knock first, so I could know that somebody's coming in. Because the last time somebody barged in, it was two people that came in with guns. So I'm scared of doors. So anyways, I can't just go outside to get mail or throw out the trash. I had to check like the surroundings first, like the window, and make sure nobody's out there. It's just that's how paranoid I am. So being afraid of the house, like I said, it's called agoraphobia, uh, and I made a video about that. But anyways, so my dad wanted me to try going out to the pharmacy to get my meds, and I told him that's very scary. Like, and the thing is, like, people judge me already, and if someone was to see me, they'll probably try to pump me around and steal my wheelchair. It's just I have trust issues with people because of my friend betrayed me. So it's like if I was to go out alone, who knows if somebody will try to pump me around or try to hurt me. So just yeah, when guests comes over, it'll freak me out since things happen unexpectedly. When I hear unfamiliar voices, I'll sit there, listen, try to hear who it is, and yeah. So yeah, like I said, I have to know my surroundings. So like I'll be sleeping. Like there's one time, like I'll be sleeping. Like actually, it happened twice. like within like a week or two. I'll be sleeping and somebody call out my name and I'll wake up yelling, and they'll apologize, of course, but I'll wake up yelling, so they learn that don't call my name when I'm sleeping, so yeah. Um, just like when I hear things fall, I'll get scared. But anyways, so thing is, I could try to prepare myself for the trauma, due to PTSD and things like that. But if things happen unexpectedly, then you know it will just trigger me. Like people barge in my room and things, and you know. But anyways, um, so yeah, so it's not easy for somebody who went through trauma or who has phobia to just get over it. There are people who have phobia, such as myself, who are afraid of the ocean. And you could tell them to try and go out in the ocean, to get over fear. But the thing is, I did go in the ocean before. When I was little, I went whale watching with my dad for middle school, and I'm more afraid of the ocean than ever. So yeah, um, but yeah, so just telling somebody, try shooting, it'll get over your fear. You never know. It could, but you never know. Um, some people think you could just get over PTSD, but it's called that for a reason. But yeah, so yeah, just some, not all, but some gun enthusiasts, they could come off as rude and inconsiderate of people's fears and trauma. You know, just tell them to just try picking up a gun and go to a shooting range. But thing is, it was very scary for me to beg for my life. And when they held a gun to my head, and later being paralyzed and screaming, "Don't shoot me, I have a daughter." It's just I'm going to avoid guns, and people got to respect that. It was just very scary for me, you know. So yeah, so PTSD isn't just about getting over it. Um, it's it deeply alters a person's brain and emotion and reaction. So, but anyways, real quick, if you're getting any value from this video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already. All right, let's get back to the video. So yeah, so I was doing research. I asked ChatGPT since technology is amazing. So, anyways, I asked ChatGPT what's PTSD, how it affects the mind, and it says that it affects the mind by re-experiencing trauma, flashbacks, nightmares, intrusive thoughts, replaying the traumatic event, hyperarousal, constant state of being alertness, leading into insomnia, irritability, and jumpiness. Like I said, I'm very jumpy. I'm just very alert. So, avoidance, withdrawal from places, activities, or people that remind of the trauma. So I'm going to avoid guns. I want to avoid going out. So, negative thoughts and feelings, feeling of guilt, shame, detachment, and loss of interest in life. So, why people can't just get over the fear? Um, it said that biological impact trauma alters brain's chemistry, making the brain more sensitive to triggers. Fear conditioning, the brain associates specific stimuli with the traumatic event, triggering intense fear. Emotional memory, strong emotional tie to the trauma and deeply embedded and not easily overcome. So, uh, so yeah, but anyways, to summarize phobia or PTSD, it's um, just like people who are afraid of the ocean, they're gonna have like fear no matter what. Sometimes they can overcome it. Um, like I said, I try whale watching. I'm still scared of the ocean. It's just a phobia. My phobia is guns. People gotta understand that. So, but anyways, um, but of course, some phobias people could overcome. For example, heights. I used to be scared of heights, but when I did roofing, I got over my fear of that. But it's just, I think it depends from person to person and what phobia it is. So, um, yeah. So, I just struggle with trusting people since a friend betrayed me and later finding out he was a part of the shooting. You know, gave them the guns and stuff, but that was real messed up. I got paralyzed for nothing. I stood up for somebody that who didn't care for me. But anyways, so yeah, so I'm gonna have fear of people and things like that. Just like a dog who's been abused, they're gonna have trust issues and scared of people and things like that. So my other phobia is fear of unlocked doors. It's just something I developed because of PTSD, and that's something I'm always going to like fear. And people can't just tell me, like just get over your fear of unlocked doors. It's like, nah, I have a fear for a reason. So certain things you just can't get over. There's a para dude who's scared of going in cars because of his car accident. So I know there's a lot of people who are scared of cars because of that. Um, and there's another dude who's scared of heights and leaning back in his chair because he fell off a cliff. So those are phobias, you know. So here's his comment. Definitely not the same as being shot, but no matter where I am, I have that constant fear of falling. I fell down a mountain, which led to C7 being injured. I know being in a wheelchair, like I have an hold on. Sorry guys, that thing's acting up. But anyways, I haven't feel like I, but I feel like I have an irritational fear of falling. I have dreams about it at night. I see any kind of slope on the ground or incline that I might think is too high. I turn around and go back. Living on our life in that constant fear is terrible. It's definitely not fair. So there's people with different phobias. Leaning back, he's scared. He might fall. It's just things trigger. So you can't just tell him, "Oh, get over your fear of heights." Practice leaning back. It's like, nah. You know, so yeah, anyways, it's just PTSD is something you can't just always get rid of. So here's another phobia. I have a fear of big dogs since I've been attacked about 3 times, you know, by family dogs, stray dogs in the streets, chased by a pit bull, whatever. So I developed fear for big dogs, especially pit bulls. So I don't like them. You can say all you want, but they'll lock their jaw and it's just what they're capable of doing. So anyways, so being chased by one, it's like you could say all people could say get over your fear of big dogs and things like that and pit bulls. It's like I have a trauma for a reason, and that's why I have a small dog now. Like yes, I used to have a big dog before, just like I used to hold a gun before. So there was a disabled army vet, Marine vet. I mean, he's like 70 years old, missing leg, missing finger. So, anyways, I used to help him out, and I remember one time we were in his room. I was helping him move his stuff, and he was showing me his gun. He opened up the case and showed me his gun. He handed it to me, and I think he was probably trying to test me to see like if I'm a good person or not. I picked up the gun. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I gave it back to him. So I didn't fear guns, before until I went through trauma. So yeah, just like I didn't fear big dogs before, because I had big dogs before. Uh, so yeah, so the scars of surviving gunshots, they're not just physical, they're mental as well. And every time I'm faced with a gun or gun related situation, I'm reminded of that moment. So I try to avoid it. I get paranoid. Of shooting movies. My brother's barging in my room, hearing fireworks go off, listening to shooting songs. So I'm sure I'm going to get paranoid and flashback if I was to shoot a gun like at a range. So you know. But anyways, if you want to know more about agoraphobia and what's like as a gunshot victim, then you should check out this movie called Beats. I'll be leaving it in the description. It's a great movie. And ironically, it came out in 2019 when I was shot. So I watched it for the first time and I could definitely relate. He does not leave the house, and it's because he has agoraphobia. So I recommend watching the movie Beats. BEATS. So, like I say, I'll be in the description. And if you're a gunshot victim who went through something traumatic, leave in the comments below if you agree or disagree. And tell me a little bit about your story. And if you want to reach out to me, I have a link to all my social media accounts in the description. And like I said, I appreciate all those comments. They're great comments. God bless you guys. And yeah, I appreciate those who interact with me on social media. So, and also telling me their stories. So yeah, but just a reminder, not every survivor's path includes picking up a gun, and that should be okay. So, but anyways, like and subscribe, share this video with somebody to spread gun violence and and things like that. So yeah, thank you.